If you enter in south of the Altai region, you're not going to see a road in a long time. There might be a couple of stretches of 4 or 5 kilometres, but it's dirt track. You know, there are some areas which are this kind of graded dirt, but for the most part, it's dirt. It's not like it's a track through the earth, that's all it is. But it's not just a track, it's a 10 tracks. It's, you know, because the truck will come along and maybe one day it was wet and he kind of goes up a different way, and then another lad goes a different way. And then all of a sudden there's 20 tracks and you come along and you're trying to decide which one is it. And you're just going, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? You know, the first thing I did was I set up a camp. I'm trying to make myself some pasta and a cup of tea. It's about 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. The sun is just going down over there. And this is Mongolia. I tell you one thing, it makes an awful difference. At the border, they turn around and say to you, welcome to Mongolia. And the first thing the girl said, you know, as a female soldier, Mongolian soldier, she turns around and she just says to me, welcome to Mongolia. Are you married? And I went, I was totally taken aback by the question. And it was just such a surprise. I've been through so many borders over the last couple of years and no one has ever said it to me, and it almost immediately means you take a really positive spin on the country right away, you know. And then she offered, did I want to change some Russian currency? When I think back to all the countries that I travelled through, especially on the Pan Am Highway, or, you know, even doing this particular trip, I don't really remember anybody saying welcome to Mongolia, or welcome to fucking the USA, or welcome to Canada. They might have a sign up, but nobody in Customs and Immigration says it to you. You know, and certainly in Canada and the United States, with their fairly tight immigration laws, they make it pretty clear they don't want you there. You know, it's kind of, how you're arriving, but when are you leaving? You know, how are you doing? When are you leaving? But anyway, the Mongolians set a brand new standard for me in terms of welcome. That whole thing set the tone for the country for me anyway. But the road coming from the Russian border to Mongolia was easily the worst track I ever had to go down. You know, there's a foot of snow in places. The bike got bogged down. I only barely got out because a truck driver came along and gave me a hand. You know, if it was any worse at all, even 1% worse, I wouldn't have been able to make it through, you know. But now all of a sudden I'm on Mars. That's what this is, I'm on fucking Mars. You know, and it's so weird. I actually, in camping, it was my first night camping last night, and I couldn't wait to camp tonight, you know. Like I pulled over early, so to make myself some pasta, get in there, have a kip, and then get on the road tomorrow, do a full day of it and see what you see, you know. Mongolia so far, you know what I mean, it kicked me in the nuts right from the fucking off, and then I'm starting to kind of adjust to it. But just on the roads thing, like they're not roads, they're just tracks. They are, like, you know, there's no, some of them have gravel and some of them, but the earth itself is gravelly. Like I drove here about half a mile from the road here, but it's gravelly. It's not that anybody went to the bother of making a road, they just fucking carved a path through what was already there, you know. So we'll see how it goes. I remember vividly at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning getting up to do a number 1. Stepping outside the tent, you know, put on these sealskin socks that, you know, a lot of motorcyclists wear to keep their feet dry. And I walked out, and the dawn was just starting, and if you can imagine an incredible Mongolian plane and a purple dawn kicking off, it was like I walked out into a postcard. And I remember, even though it was freezing cold and I was almost frozen to the spot in just pure kind of, you know, Jesus, this is just incredible. And also an element of, what the hell have you got yourself into, you know? So anyway, I packed up and I hit the road. there's a set of telephone lines. They're going that way. I'm pretty sure they're heading to Olgleave. And I'm just following them. And obviously I have a compass and stuff like that too. My God, have you ever seen anything like it? Sorry about the ear. Those are yaks. Big furry cows. See, this is your classic road here now, Mongolia. The thing is, over there, 2 or 3, over that side, right there, that's what I'm standing at. And then there's another one just over there. And what you kind of hope, fuck you, what you kind of hope is that as you're driving along, you keep seeing 6 or 7 tracks, but you're kind of going in the same direction, you know you're alright. As long as you're not the only track, then you're probably okay. This is... I've never seen anything like this place. This is just... No, look at that. You know, as I was leaving, you know, you find the road. Out here, I've said it a few times already, there is no... It's not a road. All it is, you know, eventually a couple of trucks went this way and they created a track and somebody put that on a map. That's what it is. It's not, you know, there's no gravel there or anything like that. It's just what is in the earth. That's what that track is made of. It's, you know, and I mean, sometimes when it's raining, for instance, or if the weather's bad, or if the snow's on, it's almost impassable. But if it's really dry and sunny, you know what, it isn't too bad. But I hit a patch as it was coming over the mountain again, more snow, and just whack straight over. And of course, it was on a hill, so the bike had fallen over on a hill. So thankfully these 2 guys just happened to come along and they gave me a hand lifting the bike up. You know, I'd already tried once or 2 times and I was in the process of stripping it down when they came along. You know, but I hurt my leg. And... Awesome. You take a hand. How are you doing? Hey. Yeah, just need a hand to push it up. Those 2 guys give me a hand getting the bike back up. I think I've done some damage to it too. Done a bit of damage to myself as well. Right knees. Well, I'm in Mongolia. Still, I'm going to be saying that for a while. But after 100 of the toughest kilometres I've ever done in my life, ever. I mean, snow, muck, piss and shit, and 1 crash. All of a sudden, for reasons best known to the Mongolians, and it's not on the map, they have this stuff. Asphalt! Asphalt! Oh. You know, that's the only thing you can say about asphalt is, oh, suits you, sir. Oh, suits you, sir. Oh. Seriously, this is almost sexual. Almost sexual right now. Oh, yeah. But you never know with this stuff. They had this on the Route of 40 in Argentina too, where all of a sudden, you know, gravel, and then all of a sudden a bit of tarmac. You kind of go, oh, yeah. Fucking tarmac for the rest of the day, and you get your mind tuned into a bit of asphalt, and then whack, muck and shit 2 minutes later. That's like a double whammy, because first of all you weren't expecting it, and 2, your mind's set on fucking tarmac in the first place. It's so good to be off that shit for a while. Better go try and make up some miles. glorious sunshine, and I'm drinking a Diet Cherry Coke. You know, thinking about reflecting back on Mongolia. You know, I made it to Oglib and I was absolutely delighted with myself. Got off, had a bite to eat, and went into the shop. And that's the first point. I had a heap of Mongolian currency in my pocket. And it's the first point I realised that money is very little use to you in Mongolia, because what they actually don't have is any food. They are any processed food the same way. If I walk over to the garage over here, I can, you know, get cokes, and I can get pies, cakes, crisps, all that sort of stuff. Munchies, pot noodles, you name it. Even in that garage, there's a huge variety of things to eat. In Mongolia, it's all just bulk food. I mean, it's like 40 kilo of flour, you know, a gallon of cooking oil, that sort of thing, like 25 kilos of rice. There's no kind of, there's a Swiss roll, oh lovely, a nice Swiss roll, or, you know, there's a nice apple tart. Do you have any ice cream or a bit of cream to go with that? No fridges or any of that sort of stuff. But any amount of vodka that you could possibly want. And that was the thing where it really dawned on me. What I actually ended up doing was they did sell sweets by the one. You know, you win, and it's obviously for the kids here, you know, or, you know, just go in and buy one sweet. But what I did was, I went in and bought a sack of sweets and stuck them in my tank bag. And anytime I met any kids, I just passed them out. But from there I made my way, you know, the roads got better, I kept on going. Well, I think my luck is about to run out. See down there, it's pissing rain. And this shit, when it starts to rain, you know, it's just game over and you can't do a thing in it. There's a terrible wind and there's no sheltered spot to camp either, so you're just going to have to keep barreling through it. Are getting, what it is lakes. So it's getting deeper and deeper. The bit that you have to go through now is just getting deeper and deeper. The first one was easy, second one was tougher, and now it's just getting really fucking nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? I'm trying to just pick the best way. I think it's that way. And then I came to a river, and it was nearly I could, you know, I'm not afraid to say, if somebody had given me the escape shoot home now button, I would have gone. Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck. Oh, God. Some cunt at home saying, oh, you're having the time of your life. Well, for you, heading off on those trips. I came down the bank and I said to myself, oh, okay, no, I'll change my mind. But the bike was already too far down the bank and it was soft gravel. I couldn't get back up. And so I said, fuck it, come on, try and go through it. Went through it. Sure enough, it was way up above my boots, way above the piston heads in the bike. Bike cut out there in the middle of the water, roaring for help. And I mean, I hit... I was standing in that water for 10 minutes, easy, just going, help, someone help, help. But there's no one around, you know what I mean? This is one of the least populated parts, areas in the entire world, I think. Well, what happened was, I got stuck in the middle of that. I came down that bank, it was all loose gravel, and I couldn't get out. So there, well, I had to throw off. Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck this. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. There you go. There we go, me hole here. Oh, yeah. Look, throw me helmet and all. Oh, jeez. It's not fair. I swear it's not fair. It's just not fair. Like, it's very, very beautiful here. But you know what? It's too fucking hard. It is. It's too fucking hard. Like, fucking, I'm down to me fucking knees here. And sludge. And muck and shit. And the thing is, there could be 20 more of them up here. Well, that was just a big mistake. That one, I'm going to stop much shorter the next time. I just don't know what to do now. Do I stop and camp? Try and build a fire? Or what? I swear to fuck. It's panicking big time there. If the bike goes over in the water, that's it. Especially out here, leave it there. Just fucking leave it there. I was just roaring for help, no one came. And eventually, I sound like the hope that you find this strikes within you. And I just really dropped my centre of gravity very low and just pushed the bike out. I finally, was able to use my second pair of sealskin socks, which, I thought myself was total overkill, but for some reason I haven't thrown them away since, as I've been trying to lighten my kit. And then all of a sudden, like that, it's like across a set of mountains or something, no more water at all. None. Just this kind of desert and sand stuff. And, the roads went from, the tracks went from being very easy to drive on to being brutal to drive on because there was loads of sand, to just being rocks and bumps and fucking you're cleaning the front of the bike out of rocks and all that sort of stuff. So, I never thought Mongolia would be this hard, I never thought it would be this beautiful either, it's incredible to look at, and just the light as well. I don't know what the exact combination is, but it's an incredible place, and it's certainly, the highlight of the trip. But I mean, it is hard beyond what you can bear almost, at times, because today I was nearly done, if the bike had fallen to the left or the right, that would have been it. It would have been game over. I would have been looking for somebody to take me in a truck to Ulaanbaatar and try and get it sorted. As it is, I think I might have a problem with the oil. I think some water might have gotten into the actual engine itself. But anyway, from there, it was actually things got... the worst it was just sand on the road. So everything was south because I went through the water, so I had to find a place to stay, and I'm in a place called Zavdi, tiny little town. And the building in this place looks absolutely run down, but you come into the place and you got kind of a suite. No, it's not a suite. Like there's no, you got tracing paper for bag paper. There's no towels, and there's no hot water or anything like that. But compared to washing your arse out of a stream down the road there, you know what I mean? It's a fucking mile better than that. That's for sure. I had taken 2 cameras with me to try and film the documentary. One was a pretty good one and one was a not so good one. Just given the amount of room you have in a motorbike, you've very little space. So what you're seeing at this moment is the moment when the first camera and primary camera actually broke. It was a terrible moment because I had only 1 camera left to film the whole thing. No! And it was only, the 3rd day in Mongolia, so I was absolutely distraught. Later on that night I checked it out to see if I could get it to work, but it was done. Now, you might say, why didn't you just go and get another camera? Believe me, in Mongolia and in that part of far eastern Russia, there is nowhere you can go to replace a camera, unfortunately. The hardest thing about being in Mongolia is the remoteness of it. Here, there's nothing. There's just absolutely nothing. There's nothing. There's no network coverage. There's no internet. There's no mobile phones. There's not even roads. There's not even people here. I'm the only one. I'm the only one for miles and miles and miles. Right? Now, you can cope with that. That's not too bad, right? What happens is your mood tends to just swing that bit higher and that bit lower than you would at home, because at home maybe if you're getting in a bad mood, your mate or your partner turn around and say to you, here, listen, calm the fuck up, you know what I mean? And you'd snap out of it a bit quicker, or there's a football match on, or you'd hear some bit of good news from somewhere, right? Here, there's nothing to do that. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely gorgeous, this country is, right? But you can't focus on the beauty all the time, and every now and then you just find yourself slipping. The bigger problem is that, it's days and days and days and days to Ulaanbaatar too, you know what I mean, before you get back into any form of civilization. So, you don't want to do stuff, you know what I mean, you don't want to. Sometimes you just want to drive the bike and get there as fast as you can. But if you do that, you'll regret it. So you're trying to force yourself to enjoy it, even though all you want to do is push on. And then if you get there, you'll hate yourself for having pushed on. So you're trying to fucking deal with all that shit. Anyway, I hope that made some sense.